way beautiful. Man. Okay, so I shout multiverse. My eyes pop open and I shout multiverse. It's towards the middle of last year, and my wife is having this like women's support group in our living room. She's doing it every Sunday, and naturally that means it's my job to make sure the kids go to bed, everybody's fed, and I need to stay out the living room because sacred feminine energy abounds. I am not welcomed, and I'm dozing off. And the way that our house is set up, my back is to our door, the door to our bedroom. And I hear her say, "All right, girl, we'll see you later." And you kind of dozing off, but I could hear it. It's an LA house, weird. There's not a lot of square footage. So I hear this happening at the front door. The door closes, and I hear the footsteps, doom, da-doom, da-doom, da-doom. And I know that's my wife because, like anybody who's a family member, you can tell which family member it is walking based on the weight of the footstep. If not, do you even love your family? So she's walking, and my back is to this, but I know it's her. She opens the door, does her little routine, takes her slippers off, lays down in the bed. I feel her lay down, rolls over, kisses me on the cheek. At that point, my eyes pop open, and the room is pitch black, and none of this happened. And I'm freaking out because that didn't happen. That whole scenario, you're in that liminal space between sleep and awake, it didn't happen. I freak out. But then the thought crosses my mind, if this heifer in 10 minutes or so comes in this room and kisses me on the cheek, I'm running a lap around the house, right? So I start laying down again, lay back down. I'm already freaking out. And sure enough, about 45 minutes later, "Okay, girl," da-doom, door shuts. I was like, okay, one. And then I feel the footsteps, da-doop, da-doop, da-doop. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Door opens, does a routine, lays down, kisses you on my cheek, goes, "Good night, babe." I jump up, multiverse. She was like, "What?" And I was like, never mind, I'll tell you in the morning. Could barely sleep, right? At this point in my life, I had already binged OA, Man in the High Castle, Spider-Man, Enter the Spideyverse. I was already, and I'd spent too much time hanging out with Science Mike, right? So I was already totally in love with the concept of the multiverse. Now, Spider-Man into the Spideyverse is probably the best way to get your brain around it. It's the idea that running along our space timeline, our alternate timelines that you're all in, right, based on different decisions you may have made. Now, I went so far down the rabbit hole that I attempted to find scientists that actually look for this thing. And I found these lectures from Oxford in 2015. Oxford, y'all, trying to understand multiverse and how this stuff works, and if there's really a theory, you can wrap your mind around it. And I'll spare you the nerdy details, but basically they did it at the particle level, where they did this test with photons to try to figure out if you could tell which direction a photon's gonna go, right? And try to make predictions and patterns and try to understand, how photons work. Photons, if you don't know, are light materials of light. Light's not waves, it's a material. I'm a nerd. Anyway, long story short, the only thing they could come up with is the photon is in two places at once. That's how the test happened. That photon's not splitting, it's not moving fast. It's in two places, the same photons in two different places at the same time. And they're going, that's impossible, except I'm looking at it, right? So here's the best way to think about it. I don't like cats, but I don't want to insult someone that does. We're holding space for all people. If you like cats, I pray for you. But the scientists gave this example of, imagine putting a cat in a box with poison, which we would never do, right? And then you open the box, and you look at the box, and the cat is alive and dead. So what does alive and dead look like? I don't know, blurry? We don't know what it is. The only way for that to work, if you're going to make it mathematical, is there's two yous. Because you, the tree, me, the cat, it's all just material. They're all just atoms and photons, right? So I am affected by the material I'm in the space of. We are actually at plywood place, so my photons have changed, right? So what they're saying is the equation would be, I open the box, the cat is alive, I see the cat alive. And I open the box, I look at the cat is dead, I see the cat dead. So our only option is this. Either you need to change your math, right? Meaning we need to just keep working these numbers out, or we change our philosophy. Maybe we just don't understand reality. Maybe it's far more complicated and far more beautiful than we're giving it credit for. So if you change your math, that means you just keep working out the numbers. Or you accept that maybe the numbers aren't good enough to explain what's in front of us. Copernicus was the guy that said the earth revolves around the sun, right? And there's this scientist, Liechtenstein, somebody, right? And he was asking one of his students, like, hey, why was the Copernicus thing so life-changing? He says, he said that the earth revolves around the sun. And the student goes, because it don't look like it. When I look at the sky, it looks like the sun's moving. And he goes, okay, that's interesting. Well, what would it look like if it looked like the sun was moving or the earth was moving around the sun? And you know what the answer is? It would look like this, because that's what's happening. So we're left with the question of our lives. Either you change the math or you change the philosophy. Changing the math means everything you know and believed is true is that. I just got to rework my numbers. Or you say, maybe I've been thinking about this all wrong. Maybe reality, which is already here, is far more beautiful, far more advanced, far more complicated than any of us are ready to give it credit for. And I, for one, am really excited about the possibility of changing my philosophy, because we've been trying to change this math thing, and I don't know, dog. I don't think it's working.